Hey YouTube, let's keep this ELO winning train going here. Lanturn, Vigoroth, Talonflame. I kind of alluded to my last video. I'm like just kind of running this meta right now. I went up like 300 to 3 to 400 ELO already in this meta. So really doing well. So that's very nice so far. And then this team is Lanturn, Talonflame, and Vigoroth. A basically balanced team, sort of, right? Lanturn, weak to grass and ground. Talonflame is going to deal with that. Talonflame's water is going to be the biggest issue, so Lanturn should deal with a lot of that. Mud Boy's a little tricky, but you can kind of combo and then figure out that your safe swap. So, let's take a look at some battles. Terrible lead, Vigoroth safe swap. Here we go. Get off a couple counters before they eventually get in. I love seeing a Talonflame, just because it is quite easy to bait here. I always normally say don't bait, but even if they let that go, you can probably get another couple body slams before they get to another move. But they shield. I get a rock slide off, so I'm going to grab both shields or take this out and flip switch. And that is exactly what happened. So flip switch. The wording is still messed up constantly on this thing. Out comes a Scrafty. I'll probably just come in Lanturn because there's no point of just basically sacrifice Lanturn at this point. Take a move. Talonflame is your very easy win condition here. They power punch. Out comes an Abomasnow. That Abomasnow is double weak to fire and a shadow. So this is just basically instant deletion here. And now I got energy advantage heading into a Scrafty. Yep, that's a top left to them. So had a terrible lead, but able to overcome that with winning switch there. And speaking about terrible lead, another one. Aquatail's recommended moveset now on Quagsire. I really don't think that's the better move. I really think that Mud Bomb is the better move for this Pokemon. I know the Sims say otherwise, but like this was a perfect example of like the crappiness of Aquatail coming through. Yes, it got buffed, but it's still bad. And so bad that two Aquatails do not take me out. A rock throw chestnut. I was like, crap. I guess I'll just take these rock throws and just get ahead on energy here. Because if the Quag comes back in, I'll have at least one for it to maybe grab a shield. That's exactly what happens. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Quagsire lead. Chestnut. I'm reading. Let me just stop the battles here. This is a read, and this is why I went Flame Charge. Quagsire lead, ground. You have Chestnut. But Chestnut's running a rock throw. So basically, what I'm reading is they're trying to draw out a fire with Chestnut. You still have a rock throw Chestnut to try and deal with the fire. Quagsire should deal with what's left of the fire, and then you're going to have a second grass in the back that's going to roam free once you get rid of the fire. So once I kind of read that, this is probably what's going to happen here. That is why I went Flame Charge instead of Fly, because basically I wanted to boost up my Incinerates, because I want to actually try and keep this alive to see what's in the back here. So I'm going to commit to shields. I'm going to commit to just keep throwing Flame Charge and boosting up my Incinerate, because I'm reading a second grass in the back here. So they let it go, and it is a second grass in the back. Unfortunately, that second grass is half rock, so that makes it a little trickier, but I am able to take this low enough. This will grab a shield, or else it's going to take out, so they're going to shield here. But I took it low enough that it's now in surf range, because this is still neutral, right? Because it's half rock. Even if it was resisted, it's still in like surf range. And you live one grass knot. So that's just kind of reading teams, just kind of knowing like team comps of like that safe swap has a moveset that you would not normally see. Like, why is that? And that is because it is likely going to be a ABB style team there. Vigoroth lead. Again, this team is balanced, so you don't need to run out of anything except for bad matchups, which we've had multiple so far. And I kind of mentioned it in my video the other day. Like, I got a lot of bad leads with Lanturn. But Surf should be enough. They will out body slam you, like outpace you. I think you'll live this. So live and just get off a Surf. The problem is they can shield and farm down and come out with energy, or they can let it go and I'll take Switch. So let's see what they decide to do. They let it go and I take Switch, which is kind of nice. And out comes a Swampert. So kind of nice that I was able to take Switch here. Problem is 3 Mudshot advantage when I do not have an answer for Swampert is rough, right? Because this thing is just it was going to outpace you anyways. And now it is so far ahead on energy. It's going to very, very, very quickly outpace you here. So I CMP'd on the second one just to try and get that one fast move back, right? Because I snuck a counter in and then we CMP'd. And then we have a mirror match, but now they're ahead on energy here. So I'm like, maybe I'll live a fly, and it ends up being a Brave Bird. So kind of unlucky there. There's no point of throwing it to top left anyway. Once that Brave Bird landed. Steelix is one that, although Sparks are resisted, Surf is super effective. So, and I have 3 answers for it. So I would not be surprised if I do one of 2 things. I either get 2 Surfs off to try and grab a shield or take it out, and just stay in this matchup and try and just Surf it, and then eventually come in win one of the other 2. Or I double Surf, see what they do here, and then if they shield, maybe take like 1 more charge move and then get into like Vigoroth or something. So let's see what I decide to do. I'll definitely let this go, and then I may instant swap to Vigoroth or something. Or just stay in and try and get another Surf off. Yeah. So I try and stay in and get another Surf off. That's fine. You can play it either way. Either way, I think is fine, quite honestly. Get that off, which is nice. I said on the other end, I like it when people come into my Vigoroth because it's an easy bait here. But it's a bait on CMP. It was a bait on CMP, but I guess it didn't register, so they get an extra counter 2-3 there. And now they shield, so now they're going to grab the second one because they could get up to a Rock Slide, so have to commit the shield. It is the Rock Slide. I will have energy, and I'm already boosted once. So Altaria comes back in. I'm just going to immediately throw now, so it's less likely that they catch. And speaking of less likely that they catch, that's an easy catch for them. But I now have a Vigoroth, a couple counter advantage. We'll get to a Rock Slide before they take me out, so I'll take that. Dragonite. What cup was this in? I know you can just go straight Spark and Surf because I have been on the other end of this very frustratingly, being like, yeah, there's no way a Surf will take out a Dragon. And it does after these Sparks because Dragonite is just so glassy in Great League. So you can just go Spark and Surf. And I know that because I've been on the other end of it and being taken out here. And you are just like, really? I lost to a half water Pokemon as a dragon. It's very frustrating. Vigoroth comes in. Again, this is all right. They CMP me, so nice CMP there. Because this will take me out. So now the question is, they got a little bit of energy advantage. Do I just take the resisted counters? Knowing that worst case scenario, I double shield. And once they didn't throw it away, I was like, okay, let's just go for the quicker move. And then maybe if I need to boost my attack, I'll do that on the next one here. Or do I let this go and call the Body Slam bait? No, I end up shielding. It is a Body Slam, so they'll get off a Rock Slide now. And I'm not going to let them get off a Rock Slide. And out comes a Buzzhole. I feel like I either undercharge one of these or I let them take me out here. I throw this to grab a shield or take them out. And now it's just, I don't know about that move. Because now they have to throw, and I should be able just to incinerate down before they get another Rock Slide off if they're just dumping energy here. Yeah, I don't know about that move. Nidoqueen, again, kind of like the Steelix one. Spark resisted, Surf super effective, so it's kind of like a in-between one. Like, what do I do here? I let this go, and it is an Earth Power, and it's kind of just like, okay, what are you going to do? So that one-shots, that's fine. Coming Talonflame. Unfortunately, that Incinerate does not take out, and this one will be too long, so they will get a move off, which kind of puts me at a really rough advantage here, because this can put me down to the yellow. And what is it? Altaria, so I'm going to have to try and chip and dip here, because then otherwise they're going to be able to take me out very easily here. So chip it, not enough to do much damage. Is rock slide range, so I think the bait is worth it in this situation. So there's one shield, but unfortunately Vigoroth is going to come in and just out counter me here. They're gonna put me too low, I think, and then there's going to be no wiggle room here. That's the only problem. Like, it's not that Vigoroth is glassy, but Talonflame is pretty glassy. Vigoroth is okay, but these counters that up. And oh, that one. That is not a leg on my end. That is me. I was supposed to say, I remember not, like, undercharge or doing something. I did not throw a counter there because I need 2 flies coming out of it. So I purposely let them counter me down so I can get all these incinerate through. Because this is my potential only win condition. Come out with 2 flies. And hello, I do have 2 flies. Here's 1, here's 2. But as you can see by Alteria's health, just at 50%, and a fly is not going to do 50% damage. So it was smart to let them take me, but because I needed those 2 flies, but I just couldn't work around that. So Altaria, you just stay in and throw Thunderbolt. So yeah, there's like still 6 minutes left in the battles, but I think it's a pretty straightforward team, right? Stay in with Lanturn. Vigoroth has your safe swap. Make your decision whether it's worth fighting for switch or just taking it. Like here, I can make a decision to, if I wanted to, shield and just spark and surf if I wanted to. I decide to let this go, and they come in. I'm guessing, is that another Vigoroth? Toxicroak. So, okay, that's okay. They throw, I'm assuming it's a Shadow Ball. It's just a Mud Bomb bait, and I'm like, can they even get to a move anyways? No. So like, if you're not gonna get to a move, I don't know if it's worth baiting there. But do get the fly off, which takes out. This is worth the bait in my opinion. When they only have 1 Pokemon left and 2 shields, they're pretty much gonna shield whatever. So boosted my attack, and now I can go fly. So this will grab the 2nd shield, and we CMP, which means I can instant swap and go Vigoroth Rock Slide for the win. I always say don't bait. If you've been around this channel for a while, I always say never bait. And then you just saw me bait multiple times and saying these are the scenarios you do bait. So a lot of the time it's never bait, but there are scenarios where it is yes bait. And the only scenarios I bait in are the ones where... The only scenarios I bait in... Let me actually just pause it. The only scenarios I bait in are the ones where it is just like such a high percentage that they're going to shield. Like that scenario, right? You have 1 Pokemon left as a Talonflame. Talonflame is very glassy. It has 2 shields and nowhere else to go. So of course they're going to shield it no matter what it is. Because it's... Even a Flame Charge is going to put it low enough. So they kind of have to. So that's worth baiting there. The other scenario where I'd say it is worth baiting is if it's only one of your win conditions and you have to, like that'll be a 3rd one, fine. If it's your only win condition where like a Rock Slide, let's say it's like it's Vigoroth for Talonflame, they have a shield, you need to Rock Slide to win. You're not going to get to 2 Rock Slides. Baiting there is potentially worth it, right? That's the 2nd one. The 3rd one is if the bait doesn't like significantly hurt you. And I'll give a perfect example of a comment I saw. Someone said that they were against a Swampert. They had a Toxapex and they were against a Swampert. And the person baited Hydro Cannon twice. And there's really no point to bait that Hydro Cannon there, right? It's only like what, extra 3 or 4 mud shots to get to the Earthquake. Whereas the damage of having a Hydro Cannon bait called by Toxapex is huge. As opposed to this one, if I was running, let's say Vigoroth against Talonflame, and I baited a Body Slam, well, that Body Slam bait is still doing like 40 to 50%. So even in that like, oh, they called my bait scenario, it's still doing good damage. So those are the other scenarios where I think it's like okay worth baiting, is if like the baiting damage is still significant enough that if it goes through, you're not in like a I'm a screwed scenario. So those are my thoughts on baiting. In general, I would say I don't bait 90% of the time, but then you just saw like 4 baits on this video, so it's not totally true. But I think like, yeah, I think the majority of the time I'm not baiting. You know what's funny though? There is a 4th time that I bait, and it's if I recognize the name and I know they're a subscriber on this channel, and I know that they know that I don't bait. So if I'm against you and I recognize your name and you know I don't bait, I'm more willing to bait against you because you watch my channel and you know I don't bait. So that's another scenario where I will bait. Otherwise, in this one, I'm just going to ramp up. It's a good catch on a lantern. But now it's just getting in here, body slamming, countering down as much as I can. I can live 1. Probably won't shield. I'm going to get 2 body slams off. We'll see what happens here. Because I'll get 2 body slams off. They will get to another surf. It looks like I tried to CMP there. Because then I think I can outpace. And they let it go. I think I have to shield. Yeah, because I really don't want to get a bunch of sparks. And they come in here Toxicroak, which is okay. I throw here because I assume that if I buff my attack, Incinerate will take out here. As you're going to see here, that is a wrong assumption. Had I known that that Incinerate buff was not enough to take it out, I just wouldn't have done it. I just would have thrown 2 Incinerates back to back. So kind of just unlucky there, just not knowing how much a boosted Incinerate does on a lantern. Last matchup here, we will just stay in with this matchup here. They get off. Again, I mentioned it. Oh, nice catch. They catch on a Steelix. Unfortunate for them, I have 2 answers to Steelix, so let's see what I decide to do here. Just go straight Talonflame. Makes sense. Let's see if I can take 1 move. If they lower my defense, I probably won't be able to take a second with all these. So I'll probably throw it away, force them. Because if I can force a shield out of them, I can probably just incinerate down and then come out with a fly. They let it go. Yeah, that did damage. So even though it didn't show that they were throwing stuff, they were throwing stuff. And a lantern comes in. So again, just chip with fly. Give vigoroth on it. Or do I sacrifice my lantern? I could, yeah, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice my lantern. I think that's a smarter play. I got 2 shields. So I think it's worth just like forcing them to throw energy here. If they don't throw a Thunderbolt, I'm going to get mine off. So let's do good chip because they're down shields. And now probably instant swap and just rely on 2 shielded Vigoroth, knowing that I want a Rock Slide for the Altaria. So I'll counter, I'll shield. Altaria does come in. Altaria has a move. I'm going to have to shield. Get the Rock Slide off, but I need to come out with some energy. Because they're going to have like 2 here. They have 2. And I'm like, okay, I'm in surf range now, so I really need to have like a body slam coming out here. So I am farming up basically as much as I think I can. Get to the Rock Slide. Enough to take out. I think I'm at like 1 counter body slam to take out what's left of the lantern so they don't get a move here. So yeah, that's how you play. Win condition, shield advantage, that. See, like I said, I think I started like, I want to go back. I don't know if I have the rating from like when I started this on Friday, but I'm pretty sure I was at like 2250-ish, somewhere around there. And I'm at like 2650 now when I'm making this video on Monday. So doing really well in this cup. So we'll keep pushing. I think I'm going to switch to Ultra League just to do 1 Ultra League team to just make sure it's not like 10 Jungle Cup teams. So I'm probably going to do Ultra League, try and get a team, and then I'll come back to this. Because I still have at least 1 more with Umbreon. And then, 1 more with Umbreon. So I'll showcase that, and then sometime next couple days, and then we'll have at least some videos for next week too, because this is on another week with Master League. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.